the young millionaire that gave his life to save others.
When we imagine heroic acts, we often imagine it as being from people who face injustices or are in some way the underdog in a situation. But Alfred Vanderbilt is a perfect example of a man who was privileged but never saw himself as more important than others. You see, Alfred Vanderbilt was born in New York in 1877 into a very privileged family. So privileged, in fact, that between his grandfather and father, the family had already amassed an estimated $72 million in today's money between them, leaving it all to Alfred after their death. And Alfred lived well, building a reputation for himself as a party-mad, globe-trotting womanizer with a keen eye for investment and business opportunities. But it wasn't until 1915 that Alfred's true colors were shown for the first time. Yes, he was one of the world's richest men, and his reputation still preceded him wherever he went. But that didn't stop him from performing one of the most selfless, heroic acts of history when he was faced with a life and death situation. It was May 7th, 1915, and Alfred was aboard the Lusitania, bound for Britain after leaving New York. Alfred was heading to Britain to attend the meeting of the International Horse Breeders Association, and despite the trip taking place during the First World War, Alfred and his fellow passengers assumed they'd be safe as a civilian ship, but unfortunately they would all be proved wrong. Just off the coast of County Cork, Ireland, the Lusitania was set upon by German U-boats, and the ship began to sink. As a first-class passenger, Alfred Vanderbilt was given a life jacket. Regular passengers were not, so Alfred gave his away. And as a first-class passenger, Alfred Vanderbilt was allowed priority access onto a lifeboat to head to safety. But he refused. Instead, he stayed on the sinking ship to ensure as many children as possible got onto the lifeboats. It's said that Vanderbilt was still putting children onto the lifeboats when the ship sank under the waves, and his body was unfortunately never found. Being a relatively young man in his late 30s, Alfred Vanderbilt sacrificed himself to save the lives of countless others. Despite him being a successful and rich businessman, Alfred Vanderbilt gave away the gifts his privileges afforded him to make sure that others escaped before him, and it cost him his life, but his legacy remains because of the lives he saved that day. Thanks for watching.
Follow for daily videos.